Hello, my cookies. Welcome to Russell Cooks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, I have sticky toffee pudding. I love this stuff. It's my favorite dessert, and the most important part, the toffee sauce, is great. Even if you don't end up making the sticky toffee pudding, if you make the drizzle sauce, you can put it on ice cream, you can put it on bananas, you can put it on pineapple, you can put it on anything to make a dessert. So enough chit chat. Let's get started. First things first, let's gather our ingredients. You are going to need about 20 to 22 dried and pitted dates, AP flour. Traditional treacle is used, or however it's pronounced. I've never even heard it said. Can't find it in the supermarket. I'm using light brown sugar. You can absolutely use dark brown. Baking powder. I'm using whiskey. Feel free to use rum. Butter, unsalted. Eggs, lemon juice, vanilla extract. Now I am also going to be using a vanilla bean. This is optional. Salt and heavy cream. Some baking soda. Now that we've gathered our ingredients, let's get cooking. We gotta cut up these dates. So I like to have them and then just cut them maybe a 1/4 inch thick. All right, I got 3/4 of a cup of hot water here. Putting in my dates, and it's important because we're going to be using this liquid later. 1/2 teaspoon of my baking soda. We're going to let that sit about 5 minutes, and this will soften them. Don't drain away the liquid. We need it. Now, it's all pretty much straightforward from here. We're going to make our dry ingredients. So you're going to need your flour, your baking powder, and your salt. All right, 1 1/4 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to whisk this around and set it aside. Now that we got that, let's do our wet ingredients. We're going to do this in the food processor. I have my non-soaked dates. I'm going to put those in there along with 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. I'm just going to process it until the dates are really cut up and it resembles kind of coarse sand. And then we're going to add some more ingredients here. This could take about 45 seconds. So you can see little bits of dates in there. It's kind of like coarse sand. Perfect. Now, here's where the fun begins. So we are going to add our soaking liquid. We are not adding our dates. I have 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 large eggs, and finally, a heaping tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now we're going to process this up until it's pretty smooth, and then we're going to get it into a bowl. We're looking good. Let's get it into our bowl. And then we get our dry ingredients. I always like adding dry to wet. It's going to whisk this up. It's going to be really liquidy. That's fine. It's going to be a super moist cake. That's what sticky toffee pudding is. Our soaked dates get mixed in here. Evenly dispersed. Now you are also going to need a 13x9 baking pan at very least, or a large roasting pan. I have 8 6-ounce ramekins in here and a towel. The towel is fold in half again, placed on the bottom, perfect size. These ramekins just barely fit. So anything smaller, you're not going to be able to do this. I'm going to evenly disperse all of these. Let me spray them first just in case, and then I'm going to divvy up this batter evenly into each. I'm going to add some boiling water. I want to add just enough to come up about a 1/4 inch on each of these ramekins, no more. So I have about 2 cups here. I'm going to start with 2 cups and see where that gets me. Once you get your boiling water in, cover it with aluminum foil. Make a pretty tight seal. Now bake it 40 minutes, 350 degrees, middle rack. While they cook, I'm going to make this toffee sauce. We're going to start with 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of water. And this is just going to help with it melting. And then when I add the sugar, I'm going to have enough water to kind of help it dissolve. Now, while that's melting, I am going to add a couple pieces of vanilla here. So I'm just going to split it down the middle. And then using the corner of my knife, try and get all these seeds in here. But more importantly, I'm going to throw this whole bean in. So even if you miss some, you'll get the flavor. I'm doing 1 cup of packed light brown sugar here. I'm just going to whisk this around. I'm on medium-low heat. I want it smooth. I'm going to add about a 1/3 cup of my heavy cream here. It should bubble and boil and froth and whatnot. So here goes. This is also where I'm going to be adding my vanilla bean and my whiskey. I'm just going to bring this up to a simmer, reduce heat, and I'm just going to cook it, let the flavors melt. Hopefully the sauce gets to the consistency that I want. I think we might be at a good consistency here. So I'd say about 3 to 5 minutes on the simmer time. I'm going to check the consistency with a spoon and taste it. Make sure we're spot on. Might let it go a little bit longer. I know it's ripping hot. Might add about 30 to 60 more seconds on this. Just want a little thicker, even though it's really hot. As it cools, it'll thicken up. I think we're good. I'll let it cool. Let's check these sticky toffee puddings. Oh yeah, look at these. They're puffed up nice. They look like little cakes. Now it's important to get them out of this water bath as soon as possible. You gotta let them sit for about 10 minutes at least. They've all puffed up. This one has started coming away from the dish. This is perfect. It's harder to tell with these because it's past that little lip. That's fine. This is about 40 minutes. Perfect. While we wait, this is still a little warm, but I'm gonna test this toffee sauce. Oh, it is the perfect consistency now. It's not ripping hot, but it's still a little warm. Let's give it a taste. This is phenomenal. Tons of vanilla, good sugary depth there. That light brown sugar really adds more than just something like granulated or white sugar. Oh, this is so good. I could eat this as is. So if you think it's a little bit too sweet, a little bit too cloying, you can add a teeny bit of lemon juice. Maybe do about a 1/4 teaspoon to start. If you feel like it needs a little more, go up to 1/2 teaspoon. I personally don't think it needs any of that, but if you like it that way, then so be it. Now for these sticky toffee puddings, they're still a little warm. They've cooled a bit. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of holes. You can do this with a long stem fork or a toothpick, but just completely prick it. I like how they pop right out. This is going to be good. So these two on the end, you'll notice there's a little bit of moisture in there. I'm assuming that's a little bit of the condensation on top dripped down into it, or maybe the water boiled a bit and got a teeny bit of liquid in there. Don't fret. Just let it sit. It's fine. It's cooked through, and that can happen. Just a little bit. No problem. It happens. Now I'm going to drizzle maybe a heaping tablespoon of this sauce over top. It's going to let it sink on through to all those holes I made. All right, perfect. Now we got to finish cooling these. It's going to take maybe another 5 minutes. Ah, yes. Look at that. Sticky toffee pudding. Let's get a little bit more of this sauce on here. Scoop of vanilla ice cream right here. Some creme anglaise. Go perfect. Look at this. It's time to dig in. Oh, yes. Yes. So good. So moist. You do get a little bit of that cakey texture, which is nice. And then those dates, there's just little itty bitty bits of dates, but they're so tender. And that's what that warm water and that baking soda bath did. Just made them super tender. And this sauce, oh, it is so good. So sweet. The vanilla, the sugar, those flavors really come through. It's like a rich sweetness. I absolutely love it. This is so delicious. This is my favorite. Definitely could use a scoop of vanilla ice cream right here, though. This is so good. It's just delicious. It's got a lot of depth to it between the sugar and the vanilla and the dates. Got a lot of sweet depth. So it's not just one note. Yes, it's very sweet. And that's why something like a creme anglaise or ice cream will kind of help there. Add a little bit of fatty richness to complement that sweetness. It is absolutely delicious. It is tender. It is moist. It is exactly what I want in the sticky toffee pudding. Mwah. This is my favorite dessert. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks, everyone. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitch, YouTube. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Take care.